to St. Louis, Missouri the other day. They had Black Panthers from all over the country. No one knew about it at all. They had machine guns, recoilless rifles, grease guns, Lugers, 25 of them, all armed. And the chief policeman here at the airport when I arrived, they were there, right there at the steps. He said you were violating the law. Yeah, we're violating the law. He said, we're tired of our white and black leaders, Jackie and Martin and Bobby being killed. We're going to protect this man right here. They didn't arrest one of them. Because they said if you arrest one, then someone's going to die. Because we are ready to kill. Like all means, black dignity. Just as surely as you're proud to be white, we're proud to be black. Black is beautiful, baby. It's pretty. I always say to my brothers and sisters, they didn't worry about the white chicks. We got everything from chalk to charcoal in our own race. Side by side with you, or through you. We're going to be with dignity and integrity. We don't want any more than you have, and we're not going to accept any less than you have. That's my enough.
Progress is being made. If you take a knife and my back 9 inches and pull it out 6 inches, there's no progress. You pull it all the way out, that's not progress. The progress is healing the wound that's below me. And they haven't even begun to pull a knife out, much less trying to heal the wound. They won't even admit the knife is there.
For y'all, I'm back in Living Black Power. So yeah, we got a piece of space debris heading our way. Y'all heard about that? I think what they call it CI something. CI. I think it's I think it might be the Project Bluebeam waiting to happen. And of course, Trump's takeover, but feel free to jump on in anytime, y'all. I just wanted to show the logo, that's all. Let's make sure that got up on the screen for a minute. We put this documentary back on because we got some receipts instead of just what I think. See, I thought for sure that they was over there doing what they, doing too much, but it would appear they're doing too little. So I'm gonna go right to it. The deploying of the National Guard and such.
Crackdown sweeping the nation. After deploying the National Guard to Washington, D.C., and now the White House plans to extend its effort across 19 states, all with the goal of curbing crime and supporting immigration enforcement. We'll talk to Republican Congressman Pat Fallon in just a minute. Plus, an illegal alien accused of killing 3 people in a truck accident is due in court today. What he's facing as yet another illegal alien, Kilmar Abrego Garcia, was set free. And we're giving you details this morning on the raid of former National Security Advisor John Bolton's home and office. So, what was the FBI looking for and why? Welcome to Fox News Live, everybody. I'm Kevin Cork in the nation's capital. We begin at the White House, just across the road, where the president wrapped up a fairly busy week. I think it's easy to say. Lucas Tomlinson joins us from the North Lawn. Hey, LT.
Good morning, Kevin. We just received some new numbers. Over 2,000 National Guardsmen are this morning patrolling the streets of Washington, D.C. This comes to the D.C. police force. We know is over 800 cops short. And those National Guardsmen are coming from a number of states, part of President Trump's crackdown on crime here in the nation's capital. And yesterday in the White House, the president says they could be going to other cities in the future.
We're going to make our cities.
They flipped one in.
Chicago's a mess. You have an incompetent mayor, grossly incompetent, and we'll straighten that one out probably next. So I think Chicago will be our next, and then we'll help with New York.
So Chicago and New York, Kevin. Now, for context, last year, the murder rate in D.C. was on par with Chicago and nearly 4 times higher than Los Angeles and nearly 6 times higher than New York, as you can see there. And you mentioned off the top 1,700 National Guard members we sent to 19 states. That's less than 100 per state. The White House says they will be helping DHS with clerical support and other logistical tasks for processing illegal aliens at ICE facilities. Now, speaking of law enforcement, yesterday FBI agents raided the home of Trump's former National Security Advisor, John Bolton, outside Washington, his home in Montgomery County, Maryland. And FBI agents were also seen in his office, the one he rents here in Washington, carrying boxes of documents, likely searching for classified information. Yesterday, the president admitted he's not a fan of Bolton, who wrote a book criticizing Trump after Bolton left the White House.
I'm not a fan of John Bolton. I thought he was a sleazebag, actually. And he suffers major Trump derangement syndrome.
Now, since returning to the White House, Trump revoked the security clearance from Bolton and also took away his protective detail. And we've also learned the FBI director yesterday during that raid tweeted that no one is above the law and said the FBI is on mission, Kevin.
I said in the new forward to the paperback edition of my book, I think it is a retribution presidency.
And that security clearance was pulled after the president returned to office, and that also came at the same time he had some threats.
Oh, yeah. I forgot to update people on what's happening. Everything that's related to our people. That's basically it. So, also, the DC takeover is just testing ground before they bring it to your city next, you know? So where it seems like wherever they have high crime cities, that's where they're going to be at. So, you know, hopefully they can bring that down, you know, instead of just overly overdoing it. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, just want to throw that out there. And also the space debris, whether it be an alien spaceship, AI, or some people say space junk. Either way, it's heading this way, so they say. I tell you what, when it hits the firmament and bounces off, then we'll all know what's up. No. Yeah. Hey, Jelani, I know you be hitting early, so I better bring you on now. Yeah, before you get busy. Yeah, Black Powerful. The Central Committee, New Black Panther Party, and regional chairman and longest standing local chairman of Virginia and the nation. You still there, my brother? Black Power.
Black Power, I'm still here.
Oh, okay. Feel free to come on. You come back on. I just want to bring that video up. Yeah. Matter of fact, let me take that off of solo for a minute. Matter of fact, I'll just remove it from the stage. There we go. Yeah. So what's happening?
Well, definitely have a lot to say about the takeover of Washington, D.C. by the National Guard and ICE and Homeland Security and Metro Police and whoever else is involved.
So that's definitely the major topic right there. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely. I do agree with you. It's a testing ground for what other cities they going to next. it's a testing ground for well, we're already under. That's what's happening. We're already under martial law. Ain't no martial law coming. We already under martial law once you involve the National Guard and the military. They claim that they're there to bring the crime down, but if you look in the cities that they are, like Washington D.C., he said he planning on going to Chicago next. Most of them got black mayors, and the black mayors have brought the crime down already. So it's a front testing ground to something else. I mean, when you got a commander in thief that's really a Ku Klux Klan in the White House. You know what I'm saying? When you got him in the White House, and then you got the rest of the Klan working for the police force, ICE, and Homeland Security, and other whatever other the police department for sure.
That's a before and after right there of Ward 8. I heard they haven't even sent nobody down to Ward 8. They're just gonna let that. In other words, they want to let us destroy ourselves if possible. You know?
Yeah.
But that's Ward 8 right there. That's Southeast. That's Washington right there. That's where they knocked it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's Southeast.
Yep, that's my old hood right there. But I didn't mean cut you off, just to let the people know what they're looking at in the background.
Yeah, that's what's up. But like you say, people talk about war. The war is already here. It's been here. Just don't let them draw us out into the streets unorganized and not ready. That will be a slaughter for our people. I mean, if you can't even fight the police, how the hell you think you're gonna fight the National Guard? And you know, I'm saying it's gonna come a day that we're gonna have to fight them, but we're gonna have to organize in order to
they
fight
just passed
them.
out weapons to the National Guard.
Yeah, exactly.
They sure did. They sure did. They was out there empty-handed, but now they passing out weapons.
Exactly.
Yep. I know this neighborhood right there. I mean, that's just like it. That's just how it is, for real. You know what I mean? I was saying last week, it was like 2 o'clock in the morning. I came over there with that hood, and it was like people all around the street like they having a block party. For real. You know?
Right, you gotta be a smart revolutionary, not a dumb revolutionary. You can't let them draw you out as a revolutionary. This is about guerrilla warfare. You're gonna have to hit them like Hamas hit them. Well, from a point where they can't see them.
Yep.
You know, you're gonna have to hit them like that. That's guerrilla warfare. You can't fight them out in the open because, for one, we're outnumbered. You can't even beat the goddamn police department. How the hell you think you're gonna beat the National Guard?
Yep. That's Pennsylvania Avenue right there. Yep.
So don't be stupid. Don't be a reactionary. Be a real revolutionary. You know, most revolutionaries said that the revolution will not be televised. So what they're saying is when the lights go out, their ass belong to us.
Damn,
when
I know that alley. I know that alley right there.
Damn right. When Big Brother go down and all the cameras go down, and all belong to us, and it's coming.
DC moved by a different set of rules, all right?
Yeah.
DC not only has the plain view doctrine, they got the plain touch doctrine and the plain smell doctrine. The biggest mistake my people have been making is they don't know these DC rules, and they're out there breaking these rules. And when you break these rules open up things like your car and your house to further search and seizure.
Oh, now that smell thing, they supposed to got rid of. You know, like they're saying they smell marijuana or something. Especially that DC is legal in DC, but you can't be smoking it outside. You can have it in your house. You can even travel with it, but you can't be smoking outside. Yeah.
Man, basically, if they can see it, smell it, touch it, or taste it, it can be held against you, and it can expand to your domicile or wherever you was at before they caught you with it.
Mm. Yeah.
This you got to understand that this is the only place where all of our elite politicians gather. So there's a different rule set there. If you don't know these rules, you just can't be telling folk they ain't got to do this and they ain't got to do that. When you chose to stay in DC, you chose to live by them rules.
Definitely not even a state for real. It's a district. So I agree with you. They play by a different set of rules.
Yeah, they still seeking statehood.
Yeah.
Yeah. The DC, I mean, Trump gonna put it in his hands. He said that's where it's supposed to be at anyway. Like you say, all the
But
politicians and stuff down there, you know. All it took was that one that intern from Doge. Once he got carjacked, that's when they started. What else were you saying about that, brother?
Hey, it was just a perfect play to set up a military encampment to protect the politicians. That's all. Excellent way to prevent terrorist attacks against politicians is to have the military already encamped in Washington, D.C. And if they're going to do that, they can't allow certain things to go on.
I think they're expecting something.
Huh?
I think they're expecting something.
I mean, they should have been expecting something for decades, you know. But the point, like I say, the point is though, this is the equivalent of setting it up like Area 51.
Okay.
When it's said and done, look for DC to be set up itself like a military base. Before you get to the Capitol Hill, before you get to the White House, it's going to be looping layered perimeters of different checkpoints you're going to have to check into. It's not going to be freedom of movement anymore. I can almost guarantee that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, they running up on folks. And they targeting. I got a video of that too. They targeted this one guy because he was protesting. They bum rushed him. Yeah. They talking about having a protest out there Tuesday in front of the DC courthouse.
Man,
who's doing that? What organization doing?
I don't know. I just heard there's a protest out there, and I'm like, I ain't going down there. I mean, I'm not available. Plus, I don't have trans. But I'm just saying that it needs to be addressed.
You don't find this suspicious that white folk and predominantly white folk been leading the charge of protest in DC against what the Fed's doing and not black folk?
Oh yeah, and they paying protesters. Yeah.
So what do you think the black folk that all of a sudden want to pop up and organize and violate the District of Columbia's rules? What you think they own?
I tell you what, there's too much facial recognition and too many cameras down there to be messing around with that. You know?
I'm not going to mention their name, but the black folk who wanted to pop up and protest down there in the District of Columbia. Listen, if a person only halfway informs you, they're misinforming you if they're not telling you the consequences behind your actions. And that's what you are not being told.
That's what I'm looking at. I'm looking at the fact that that's the courthouse. That's the big courthouse. And they're giving National Guard weapons. They got FBI in squad cars. But look at Ward 8. Ward 8 gonna look just like that tomorrow. I bet if I go to Ward 8 right now, it's just like that. You know, facial recognition. Don't even have, like you said, you can have a mask on. They still know who you are. You know what I mean? And now, what you just saw on the screen, the young brothers riding the four-wheelers and the motorcycles down there, I don't believe they're calling them guys gangs. They're not a gang. They're just folks in the neighborhood. They ain't no gang.
Hey, real quick, just know that protest that them Negroes want to do, they can do it. They just can't do it directly in front of the courthouse. It can be near the courthouse, but not. Okay. That's what I'm saying, bro. They're not breaking it down, and they're not breaking down these different doctrines to the people who may show up. They just tell them to show up. They got the right, and their rights being violated. But if you show up incorrectly, you setting yourself up for failure.
Said because Brother Jelani know when we was down there in Gastonia and the police, we were across the street from the courthouse. And the police ran up on Commander Black. You know, I mean, he gave the order for everybody to leave. Let's go, because they heading this way, right? And one. I ain't gonna say no name, but one brother he wouldn't leave, and he got him jammed up. You know, but they had already
FYI,
said everybody disperse, and everybody had like 5 minutes or something. That's what they said. And then Commander Black said, "All right, everybody, let's roll out." You know, we was all the way up the hill when some white folks actually came past us and said, "They jamming your comrades up the hill back down
there,
there by the courthouse." So,
there's no firearms permit. There's no real firearms permit reciprocity in DC except for the DMV area. And you have to, every gun that you own in DC has to be registered, and that you possess in DC has to be registered in DC. So if you see somebody that armed, and they not a resident of DC, you might want to get away from them.
uh, the no gun state, and they coming down on them hard. Oh, hey, might be a no gun state, but I showed the two brothers, they was talking to the guy, and he was telling them to stay, they was telling them to stay strapped.
No, it's a gun state, but the problem is a lot of politics behind it. Like even if you pass a background check in your 10-day waiting period, it's still political once again because that is where all of the politicians frequent. Like one of the things about they have little clauses like hold on, you know what? I'm gonna hold that thought. I'm gonna pull it up off the internet so I can read it to you. I'm gonna hold that thought. I
Okay,
land.
that sounds good. Black power. Black to you, brother Jelani, you still there?
Black Power, Black Power. I'm back. I had to
Oh, it's
go
cool.
some
We're
go
talking.
out for a little.
Perfect timing. Yeah, I'm gonna have to get that other brother. He trying to get in, but he can't get in. So I'm gonna have to let this device go. Maybe I need both of them. Shoot. One has got the hood on it, as you see. I'm ready this time. More intel. More intel. Yep.
Yeah. So the other part to that about DC is is we live in a criminal justice system. So the people that are running the system are criminals themselves. They've been criminals ever since they came over here from Europe. As a matter of fact, they were criminals in Europe, and they were let out the jails of Europe to come over here uh, to America. So they have been criminals the whole time. I mean, y'all looking at them like they decent law-abiding citizens, and then that's not what's happening. They have never been law-abiding civil citizens. They have never been citizens. They talk about illegal aliens. I saw in your clip where they was talking about illegal aliens. The Europeans are illegal aliens. They don't
Right.
belong over here. They don't belong in America. They need to get deported. They're trying to deport other people when they need to be the ones deported. They're illegal aliens. They're trespassing on the red and black man's land. And I say red and black because the black man was over here and the red man was over here as well before the Europeans came. So the Europeans are the illegal aliens that are trying to put that on everybody else. And they're also criminals because their whole system is criminal. Their criminal justice system is the criminal justice system.
Yeah, the criminal justice system. Well said.
Exactly. So start acting like our people need to start acting law-abiding citizens. They have never been law-abiding citizens. They create the laws, and then soon as you break them, they break them all the time. So and I get into some of those conversations with some of the Moors who always try to go by the law. We getting into a state of anarchy. Once we get into a state of anarchy, the law means nothing. And
Yeah.
there's a difference between the law of man and the law of nature. The law of nature is more in tune with the creator or creators with an S on the end. And the law of man is something totally different. Now, if you're trying to abide by the laws of man, you done lost your way
Yeah.
because the laws of nature overpower the laws of man.
And that's Cincinnati behind us. They going wild, buck wild down there in Cincinnati. They ain't having it. Huh.
Yeah. They getting crazy.
Oh, okay. Let me read that. Let me see. Read that what brother Joe had put in there. But I got bugs in my line right now. Is it buzzing to y'all, or is it just buzzing on my side?
I can hear you.
Oh, okay. Well, sometimes it does that
It's
on
an
my side. I
echo.
don't know why. Was that
There's a
brother?
little echo, but I can hear you.
Oh, it is echo.
And Cincinnati going buck wild because they got proper gun laws.
Yeah. Yeah. How about that? Yeah, man. But I'll read that unless you want to read it since you're on here, brother. Probably quicker. The middle ground approach.
Oh,
This means
DC has what they call a middle ground approach, and it means that there's no legal obligation to retreat in a self-defense situation. But even though you may, hold on, let me just read this word for word. This means that while there's no legal obligation to retreat, the possibility of safe retreat can be a factor in assessing the reasonableness of using deadly force. In other words, they don't have a duty to retreat where you have to retreat before you can defend yourself. But if they come in and investigate on their own and see that you could have possibly retreated before you defended yourself, you can be basically charged with murder versus self-defense.
Wow.
yeah.
Heard that. So in other words, you got to at least give it a shot.
In other words, since it's Washington, D.C., most of those laws are off the cuff, and it's going to be up to the elite on whether you violated them or not, and you end up either in jail or a black site or worse. And I only bring up black site when feds put boots on the ground.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
man.
to
They might get
add to that, you could end up in El Salvador, wherever the other jails are. You could end up somewhere out there.
Hey, it's worse places in Chicago. Like, it's literally worse black site places they can take. Look, when it was going down in Chicago, they had black site places that they were taking people to that they were literally torturing. Like, it's on the record. If you type in black site Chicago on Google, it should still pop up.
Also, they have the
no rights, no jurisdiction.
Yeah.
Yeah, no rights, no phone call, none of that. We'll let you go when we're tired of you. Who you going to sue? There's nobody to sue. It was a black site. Who you going to complain to? There's nobody to complain to. That's off the record.
Yeah.
Lightning. This was during that Mike Brown time it was during that Mike Brown time.
Right. And then like they got some spots that nobody even know about. You know, they are like attached to military bases, and they damn near like Guantanamo Bay.
Well, the way I'm hearing it, witness protection, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is from I don't know if you heard this, but it messed me up when I heard it. A lot of people that are in the witness protection program are actually in the low housing and low income program because it's easy to house them. It's easy to house them. If your house is up for rent through Section 8 or HUD or whatever, it can, somebody in witness protection can be put in your house and you will never know.
Well, I
That's
guess if you
crazy.
had Italian mobsters next door, you would never know because we don't know who they are.
Yeah, that Italian mobster is Mrs. and Mr. and Mrs. Smith, who own a bakery. Whole time he a hitman.
Yeah.
Mr. The African warlord that you thought wanted a new life that stay next to you. Whole, like I say, whole time he there and hiding in the asylum because he didn't kill the village of children. And you think that they making good food for sale. No, it's deeper than that.
Yeah. Well, they got that thing where it is Rex 84. Ronald Reagan Executive Order 84.
Yeah, you always got to take Rex 84 and stuff like that under advisement, man. But in 2025, we can't keep on living using old times for modern times, because you can look at Rex 84 and call that outdated for CV-19. What you mean?
Well, that's when they started it, but they had to renovate all those concentration camps that they had from World War II. Internment camps. Matter of fact, they got. Sorry, go ahead.
When the last time, other than 2019, 2020, and 2021, you're of age just like me. You're a little wiser than me though. When was the last time before 2019, 2020, and 2021 have you seen so many people in this nation die that they had to pull up 18-wheelers with refrigerators on the back of them to store people? It's the small details that go overlooked.
Yeah. That's why I brought these videos up before I even came on tonight. But when I heard the people saying that they're not even in Ward 8, that's Ward 8 right there. We looking at Ward 8.
Yeah, but that's why I keep telling everybody, yeah, you got the right to protest in DC and stuff, but those rules, they have that middle ground don't just apply to stand your ground. It applies to everything in DC. You're subject to the rule of DC. DC is not America. It's its own place.
Right. It's a home district, not a state. It's a own city. Just like the Vatican. It's its own city. They make their own
Perfect
rules.
example, just like the Vatican. Just like the Vatican. Yep.
And not only that, they can't even own their they can own their house, they can't own the land that it's on in DC. But my brother, his house paid off, but the government still own the land. Ain't that something? So yeah, man, it's get worse. I know I seen a lot of times when they was out there taking people's pictures and stuff, and so now it's like, go ahead and bring everybody down so we can all get our pictures taken right in front of the building that I definitely don't want to be seen. I don't want to see it. I don't want it to see me. The courthouse, court building.
After we last talked, Lightning, did you ever figure out what the biggest part of facial recognition is?
I've been not all of it, no, but I'd be glad to hear it.
It's your eyes and your eye iris.
Oh, okay.
So covering up your face don't work how most people think simply covering up your face works, because a lot of these cameras can take a picture of your eye iris and it's like a fingerprint. Everybody's iris is different. Some Minority Report stuff that I thought would never be true, that's straight true right now.
Yeah. Well, I know if you got the mask on that covers your whole face, your eyes and everything, I thought that would be the picture.
Remember when I asked you how do you think they call Luigi when his face was covered? Remember I kept asking you that?
Well, most masks, your eyes are exposed anyway. It got to be.
Exactly. When Mangione went after that healthcare dude, he had a ski mask on and his eyes was exposed. Everybody kept talking about his eyebrows, but facial recognition, screw your eyebrows. It goes straight for your eyes, your pupils, and your iris.
Facts.
You almost better off putting on makeup and some sunglasses versus putting on a ski mask and no glasses.
Because it covers up your whole face, your eyes, and everything. You know?
No, in particular, cover up your eyes. You could put fake tattoos on your face, but you need to cover your eyes.
Yeah, they can't match your face. They can match your eyes, like the brother was saying. Your eyes, like your iris, like he said, is a fingerprint. So it could be any face, but your eyes gonna tell who you are. Yeah, you sound
Oh,
like you're
okay.
far away. Sound like you in Georgia.
Oh, shoot. I was in Georgia.
Hey, see, that's the mask I'm talking about right there. They use that joint at the shooting range. Yeah. But they probably still know
Yeah,
who it is. They say it's probably only a handful of us that wear these. You
No,
know?
you just gotta do it in the proper fashion, man, not to draw attention. It's the gray
yeah,
man motto.
Yeah.
yeah. You gonna stick out like that.
Yeah. I was wearing this during when we was every time I went to DC. Hmm. Yeah. I was all masked up. But then I realized I was like, you know what? They probably followed me back to my car with a drone. That's when I took the mask off and said, forget about it. Hmm. Yeah. But yeah, it's the
No,
facial recognition
that
is definitely, but they got body recognition type thing, you know, your size,
that
your
that
weight.
that's arguable. That's
That's
arguable.
why I say. Go ahead, bro.
And when you speak about a drone, they don't need no individual drone for you. Go back to Mike Brown. The FBI send a little bitty airplane up that flies around in figure eights and scoops up everybody's cell signals, which sends that out to people to look through y'all phone, look through everybody's phone individually.
Yeah.
That was proven.
Mhm.
That's why
Yeah,
I
these
dealt with an
phones.
investigation team.
Yeah, these phones ain't nothing but tracking device.
That's
That's all
all.
they are.
Yeah. When they ping the towers, they can know right where you at.
I I be trying to spit game on lessons I've learned, man, from dealing with different people in different organizations, man. Like
Hmm.
I I, yeah, literally had FBI run up on me. So when I tell you these things that they do, some of the things, like no offense, but some of the things like individual drones on you, they're kind of like the no offense, but I don't want you to take the wrong way. It's kind of
Yeah.
delusional. But this is why I say that the technology that they possess and use against us is way wide ranging than just an individual drone. A drone gonna follow somebody that may have a dirty bomb. But for us, that little prop plane up that's up so high that we can't hear it flying, and which they probably do use a drone by now at this time. They're up so high we can't hear it flying. They're scooping up everybody's signal. That's redirecting those signals back to an agent sitting at a desk who's probably looking at all your text messages, all your calls, all your social networking on an individual basis.
Yeah.
They get paid for this.
Yeah. Because I know a buddy of mine told me they had a CIA plane that could be way up in the, so far up nobody can see it, but it's got a thing where it can look through your wall. It can look right through your wall, right through your ceiling. He said this thing so far up in the air, it can look through your ceiling and read the Surgeon General's warning on the back of your cigarettes.
A police department is supposed to, I forgot which one, that they supposed to just hire a truck that can see through the walls of your house and see exactly what you're doing on the inside.
Oh
Yeah, that's
yeah,
what I was gonna say. They got vans where they can drive around the neighborhood and actually see through the walls of the houses and stuff like that as well. But see, that's why I say as a revolutionary, we're not gonna make no moves until Big Brother goes down completely. and you gotta to be a revolutionary. Revolutionary means complete constructive change. Most of these guys thinking, they're gonna get a gun and go do this and go do that. But complete constructive change is from the inside and the outside. So if you ain't spiritual enough to know when to fire the gun, you don't really know what you're fighting for. And you got to know that Mother Nature is working with us. Like Elon Musk got a satellite up there that's being ate up by the sun.
Yeah.
The sun gets hotter and hotter every year. So eventually their satellites is gonna shut down, which is gonna shut down their GPS and all their technology. And say
China
that
and
again?
Russia, Russia and China, they had wasn't that long ago? They had bombers heading toward the United States. Yeah.
But Russia and China gonna bring it down from the outside for sure. It's
Tell you
coming
what, though,
down. It's just a matter of time. I
Trump
would
keep
say it's
messing
coming
around with
down before 2030.
Trump keep Putin in the White House so much he don't know he getting conned. Putin looking at him like a sucker.
Putin is way smarter than Trump. So
And he's
Trump can
military,
talk to Putin all he wants to.
KGB. Yep,
Putin is way
military
smarter than Trump.
KGB all the way. Yeah.
As a matter of fact, Putin can beat Trump ass.
Oh yeah, and fight. Oh shit, Putin work out.
Yeah,
Got
he
two
work out.
dogs. Yeah, dude ain't no joke. Yep. But I tell you what, before it's all over, you know how many people of ours are gonna suffer. You know. But what do you think about that?
A lot of our people gonna suffer. A lot of
Yeah.
our people gonna suffer because all they doing is lying, dancing, going to the
Mhm.
club, drinking, smoking, partying. Those years right now is gonna get more serious than this. And you
Yeah.
think you're gonna be partying, drinking, smoking, line dancing, and going to the club? You
I shot myself in
Hard
the
head,
foot.
yeah, hard head make a soft tail. That's what happened.
I made my
Your
hey. Huh?
your FTP campaign.
Right.
Anything negative towards swine gonna slow you down the algorithm.
Yeah. I figured, man, I say here it is. Nobody wants to celebrate the 4th of July. I
See,
say I like fireworks. So I'm making my own holiday. FTP Day.
this what I noticed about black folk when they starting off grassroots and trying to get some traction. They have to be what the Asian call themselves in this country, the model citizen online. So you really have to police your language until you take off. Once you take off, you can kind of say what you want to say, as long as it ain't no hate.
Yeah. That's why I'll be very careful and not cussing too much. You know? I believe it's like the context of what you're saying it to, you know. Yep. I stay away from you know, a lot of stuff that's
Yeah,
gonna bring it down. So we can go all the way up. Yep.
do that.
Yeah, I want to go all the way up. Don't want to do like Sarnetta. I mean, like Sarnetta was on top of things, and all of a sudden, boom, you don't see him no more.
No,
You know?
no. See, that's another thing. Hey, Lee. Don't. You know, I get what you're doing. I get what you're saying. I get how you're doing it. Just
Now I
when it
like
comes
Sarnetta,
to,
and he hadn't done
I
nothing wrong. Yeah, all I'm
no,
saying is, I him being a black podcaster, I think they knocked him out the water.
I understand what you're saying about him not doing nothing wrong. It's just when you speaking of it, try to not drop these men and women names, and it's not just for algorithm reasons. It's also for pride reasons.
Oh yeah,
Not
yeah.
not your pride, but not to hurt somebody else's ego.
Oh yeah, no, I like Sarnetta. Sarnetta's cool with me. And matter of fact, I never saw him say anything that was out of line, inappropriate.
Yeah,
But
but
like you say, they start messing with the man's family and his lifestyle.
and look,
You
that's what
know?
I'm saying. You saying them put him off can lead to a disagreement of him saying he quit. That's why I say watch dropping names and how you say certain things.
Yeah. No, I just noticed that I haven't seen him as much because I used to watch some of them. Yeah. I tell you who else I don't see on there. Oh yeah. No use of me dropping names. You're right. I don't see Channel 5.
See,
Yeah.
just to summarize it, you see that people, you see how people are done that speak freely, and especially about the injustice being done to the people. That just simplifies it.
Yeah. What I'm talking about. Shoot. Like, yo. Yeah, that's more unity. Unity is what needed. You know? But that's why I'm trying to stay up because what we gonna have, we ain't gonna have nothing but white folks on there giving us false narratives. You know, unless we got some of our own people on there. You know, there's like Ward 8. Ward 8 ain't as bad as they trying to make it seem. Ward 8
And
ain't that bad. It really
and
ain't.
that's my
Matter of fact, I remember telling somebody that I was way safer in Ward 8 than anywhere else. I got
and
family and
look,
friends and comrades over in Ward 8. Anybody mess around with me in Ward 8, they're gonna have a problem.
and that's my thing. See, brother, this is why it don't make sense to me. If we got our youngsters turn the streets up like this, right? And this ain't no shot at the youngsters. This ain't no shot at my people. If we got the youngsters turn the streets a new tale, and whenever something happened, oh, black folk take to the street and make their voice heard. It is real interesting to me that ain't no black folk making their voice heard. And every time I look up, it's white folk on the TV talking about some, oh my God, they're doing black people wrong. But when I see black folk talking, they're like, man, these young folk tripping, they need to come clean this up. So it's funny to me that these liberal white folk and these ubiquitous white folk is the ones who's pushing this get out in the street and protest thing the same way they did for the Mexicans and the same way Libiquitous did. See, Libiquitous started this all off. That's the LGBT folk. Libiquitous started this all off when they went on a protest and they got mad wasn't no black folk join them. But like I told you some months ago, what I watched during them protests was the police not be heavy-handed, the police not arrest nobody. It was a quiet alliance that was gained. Same thing with this immigration thing. They got mad. Black folk ain't out there protesting, and now it's a hatred for black folk. And now in DC, it seems like white folk are mad that black folk ain't out in their neighborhoods tearing up stuff and protesting, so they're urging black folk to get out. And guarantee you, if black folk was being done in, they'd be out there in the street. They will burn it down before they let folk just do them in. That's just how it is.
True. Mm-hmm. Everybody's getting like, man, I ain't trying to go down there. You gotta hit the city councils though. Yeah. I mean, look at everybody being shadow banned. All the black podcasters about something. I guess they say, okay, these people giving up the truth, so we're shadow banning them. You know, that's why I'm trying to stay on because if they want to keep saying ain't nothing happening, and I look outside and I see a lot happening, then I gotta tell the people.
But you see,
even that fog, they forgot all about that mysterious fog. Man, I seen that stuff in the air. It's like I ride my bike and I got the headlights on at night, and I could see it. I could see particles all in the air. So I started masking up, and I was like, man, I ain't even going down there. And I smell ammonia. I don't know what's that about, but I actually smell ammonia. So if they want to tell people ain't nothing out there, I want to be the one to say, you damn right, there is something out there. You know?
You know how I keep on saying that white folk on autopilot because of the Negro European gatekeepers, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's the same thing with this computer algorithm. You gotta understand that the people who are hurt by the truth, they're fine. That they're on autopilot because the algorithm is doing all the work. Man, like on certain platforms to say that a boy grow into a man and a girl grow into a woman can get you shadow banned. We are living in a wicked time. I keep on speaking on this good and evil thing. Oh, I'm 42 years old, and I coming up. I used to always hear my elders say, "End time this, end time that." I wasn't seeing no signs. Okay, other than father against child, child against parent. I wasn't seeing no signs. Now all the signs there. CV19, 2019, 1619, the first slave to this shore, 400 years. Fourth seal of Revelation. Like it's little stuff like that. The war of Gog and Magog, Russia and Ukraine, Israel. Hey, I'm saying this because if you do good and you see good being done, the evil in this world right now outweighs any good that anybody can muster up. So the war is on. Just understand that this ain't typical human spite. This is literal good and evil. So be careful.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
And I'm not a Christian nor a Muslim. So I want to set that for the record as well.
Right.
Definitely.
Oh, black
Definitely. Definitely. You don't have to be religious at all.
That's
Because,
prophecy is prophecy.
You know, it's a difference between spirituality and religion. You know, there's a lot of people that's spiritual that's not religious. Me myself, I'm not religious at all. I see through the bull crap. Religion to me is a part of the spell. It's a part of the spell. It's a part of the devil's plan. Religion itself is a part of the devil's plan. But we are definitely knee deep in Revelation. And when I say Revelation, most people think about the Bible, the end book of the Bible, but they don't know that that book actually comes from ancient Egyptian scrolls. That's why the prophecies are happening and taking place, not because it was a book in the Bible, but because it predates the Bible. And they put it in there. They took it from ancient Egyptian scrolls and stuff like that. So when we see the everything in Revelations is happening right now, like everything is happening right now. These are definitely the end times. I'm gonna show you where it talks about the last hour in the Bible. It talks about the final hour that Babylon will fall. And for those of you who don't know, Babylon is America. And the Bible calls it Mystery Babylon. So there's an ancient Babylon that was ruled by Nebuchadnezzar and Nimrod, and then there's a modern day Babylon called Mystery Babylon, which is a mystery because most people don't know it's America. And it talks about the fall of America in Revelation 18. It talks about that Babylon will fall in 1 hour. In Revelations 18:10 talks about that hour that Babylon will fall in, and we in that hour. We in that hour. As a matter of fact, we only got 5 minutes or 5 years left in that hour. That's why they say by 2030, America would be completely fell apart.
Tell you what, they trying to genocide us while they can.
But you know what the devil's doing, right? The devil know that his time to rule is up. So he's trying to take as many of us as he can with him.
Yeah.
That's what's happening. He's trying to take as many of us out as he can because his time is up.
Yeah, that's why I say we need legitimate people at the helm, you know, that they ain't got I don't got to get rid of that echo.
They got some of our people. They got some of our people so messed up that they don't know right from wrong, though. If you don't know right from wrong, how can you fight good versus evil if you don't know right from wrong? You might think you're on the right side and be on the bad side. I think you're on the good side. Think you're on the good side and be on the bad side. I think you're on the bad side and be on the good side. Because most people don't know right from wrong no more.
True that.
Remember what I said earlier about the Negroes telling black folk to come to DC and protest without telling them, only telling them half of their rights versus possible consequences if they come wrong? That's misinformation. You got to let these people know DC laws apply to them, and they don't have certain rights in DC that DC residents have. They're not stressing that.
Yep. Not only that, getting people pointed out easily. You know, like Judas and the Black Messiah. They had something on that guy. That's why he came in and infiltrated. You know, as long as they got something on people, you know.
But they got a lot of that. They got mad informants. They got
It sound,
informers everywhere. They got people in the lodge that got something on the people in the lodge, and that's why they can't do certain things.
I'm saying
That's
like
that's that's the way they work.
if all they can go back and tell their people is that I go to work every day, feed the homeless, and ride my bike at night, doing night patrols, if that's all they got to say, then they can tell them that. I ain't got a problem with it.
yeah. Now let's just say you wanted to go to DC and show up, and you showed up with a pocket knife or something on you that was improper for the state. Like it's certain things that you should be informed on before someone plays on your emotions and get you riled up to become a reactionary instead of a revolutionary.
Yeah.
Facts.
Yeah.
Facts.
Just like tasers and stuff like that, you might not even know they're not legal in certain spots.
That's what I'm
Right.
saying. And to
That's why. No, go ahead, bro. That's why all I was saying. That's why when you travel from state to state, you got to know the rights in the state that you're going to as well, not just the state
facts.
that you live in.
And the biggest disservice is for a lawyer to do this and not inform the people is diabolical.
Facts.
Well, I know one thing. I ain't going down there and have my picture taken. Forget that. Even with that mask on. I can have that mask on. I stand out like a sore thumb. You know? I got the
The
skull one
ma-
too.
the mask, no mask would matter, no glasses would matter if you're meeting up with a certain person to protest. Are you following me on that?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Then
That
they get
sound
the
like
best
that sound
way.
like a setup anyway. Though. That sound like a setup from a get go.
In
Especially if the
front of,
person a lawyer.
in front of a courthouse.
No, that
Well,
sound like a setup.
I know that's where Commander Black got locked up in front of the courthouse. Mm-hmm. That's the last place. Goodness gracious, be safer in front of the police headquarters.
So basically, it's insane to do the same thing again with the same person and face arrest.
Yeah. I mean, shoot, police headquarters was safer. It really was. Yeah. Shoot, Loudoun County, PG County, headquarters, right out in front, you know? Shoot. Down South Carolina too. Yeah.
Check it out. I bet you folk will have more effect if they went to every gas station around their courthouse and shut down them gas stations. I bet you it'd be a bigger effect than going to the courthouse.
That would be a good idea. Boy, God, thank you. Yeah. So, yeah. I got the that flying space turd on there too. They say that's they say that's like a UFO, but that thing is tumbling through space. The way it's tumbling, it don't look like no UFO to me. It looks like a big old turd. But y'all seen that?
These folk praying something come to save them from retribution.
I seen it. Might be a meteor. You know, we getting close to the end. We supposed to have meteorite showers as well. It might be something like that, but I wouldn't rule out the fact that it might be a spacecraft. I know it wouldn't be what we was talking about earlier. It wouldn't be Nibiru. That's the mothership. That's like 4 times the size of the planet Earth.
Earth.
It can't come. It can't come in the Earth. Smaller ships come from that ship, so
I
it
think
can't.
they
It
from here.
can't come. Huh?
Didn't they say when this thing passed, It's supposed to come back around in 2030, and it's a 80% chance of it hitting us or something like that.
Yeah, yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
But they talking about
So
this thing
wouldn't this,
coming in November.
but wouldn't this be the time to send something out and try to redirect that thing before it come back around in 2030?
Yeah, hell yeah. And you know they could do it if they could get to outer space.
If it's a vacuum in space and we got till 2030 between rockets and using planets to use as a gravitational slingshot, man, that thing can be moved enough feet or miles off target.
Yeah, yeah, good.
They
Just
they
shoot
gonna they
missiles.
gonna try. They're gonna try, but bottom line, they really don't know what it is. That's why they're so
Yeah.
concerned. But
If they can, man, if they can destroy the world with nukes, they can destroy
they
that.
can't. They can't though. That's a big lie right there too. That they can destroy the world with nukes. Man ain't made the world, so man can't destroy the world. I don't care how many goddamn nukes. I don't
Yeah,
care how many goddamn nukes they got. That's
yeah.
not happening.
But at least you can push that.
They ain't made the world. They can't destroy the world. They can
Yeah,
destroy some of it, but all of it, hell to the no. There'll be
yeah.
people here to live and carry on, just like what happened with the meteorites, with the dinosaurs and all the
The
other
earth will
shit.
heal itself.
Yeah, the earth will heal itself.
Oh yeah.
Even in Japan or wherever that was where they got hit, you had people that were still living through the radiation and all that aftermath, man. That's crap. That's crap. The white man wants you to believe that he can destroy the world and he ain't made the world. He want the first one here on the goddamn planet and he can't destroy it. That's a lot of crap. He
I just
can't
don't think
destroy
they
the
can get
world.
to the first.
They can't destroy the world. They were the last ones on the planet, bro. You think they figured out how to destroy the world? Or do you think anybody else is gonna let them destroy the world? They were the last beings here. You mean to tell me that they could take everybody that was out here before them? No, man. Whoever, if you believe in a creator or creators or whoever it is, they're not gonna allow them to do that, man. That is baloney. They're not gonna allow the last being on the planet to destroy the whole goddamn planet. That's a bag of baloney.
That part.
That people be pumping up like they be pumping up the white man like he's so bad. Right now, the only thing America got holding America together is propaganda, bro.
Facts.
That's the only thing they got. Right now, China is the number one superpower. And tell a white boy that and see how mad they get. Because they, man. Iran showed us that, man. Israel and America and the Ukraine is coming down. I said this on my on another podcast. I said the way it's gonna fall is Ukraine gonna fall first, Israel gonna fall second, and then America gonna fall right behind right now. They falling apart. It was hot as I don't know what in Europe this summer.
Yeah, I peep game on
Still,
that.
yeah, still hot over there. They gonna bake right where they at. They gonna bake right where they at. Their economy is falling apart. All that, man. The religious system falling apart. Everything is falling apart. They got more immigrants than they got people that's from there.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Man, this shit is
Yeah.
falling apart so fast, man. It's not funny, bro. I mean, every summer get hotter than the previous summer. They dying from melanoma like crazy. Excuse me. The people in Israel are dying. The people in Israel dying from melanoma faster than any other European.
Hey, look, straight just it's a video got scrubbed off the internet. It was a Ukrainian Jew that took a pilgrimage to Jerusalem during the summertime. He was out there sunburnt in 5 minutes, and on camera he say, "Somebody got to be effing lying, because there's no way my people are from here. Look at me," and the camera went blank. Sunburnt all across his body.
Yeah, we living in a time. Look, if you go to the book of Malachi, you know, the book of Malachi, and that's the last book in the Old Testament. It says, in the last days, the Son of Righteousness shall burn the wicked and heal the righteous. The sun shall arise with wings and burn the wicked and heal the righteous. And the sun is spelled S-U-N. Now the dumb Christians try to say it's S-O-N. They try to say that's talking about Jesus, but it's spelled S-U-N. It's talking about the sun up in the sky. And, and what we're going through in this day and time, where the ozone layer is falling through, and the ultraviolet rays are getting closer and closer to the planet, and it is eating up white folks because they don't have no melanin. We got melanin, so it actually cools us off from the sun. But the fact that you don't have no melanin means you 3 to 4 times hotter than any black man. And their ass is turning red. They turn redder every fucking summer. They almost look like the man on a hot sauce bar.
That part.
They turn red every summer. So the sun is doing what it's supposed to do. It's healing the righteous and burning the wicked.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the day and time that we in. And that's why Bill Gates keep trying to block the damn sun with the fucking what they call that stuff? That spray.
Yeah. Shoot. I know what you're talking about.
You know what I'm talking about? Come from the plains. Chemtrails.
Yeah. Cloud seeding chemtrail.
Yeah. That's why they trying to block the sun, because they trying to block the sun. They know what time it is. And then when you look at Bill Gates' name, you break it down. Bill is short for Billy, as in Billy the goat. The goat is symbolic of the devil. And then Gates is the gates of hell. He started Gateway 2000. Some others don't call Gateway. All that. The gateway to is Bill Gates, man. Bill and Gates. The gateway to
he got an interview out there before COVID hit, saying that they can get the population to decrease by at least, I think it was 10% through vaccination. You hear me?
Yeah.
So during the whole CV-19 thing, I was following death statistics, and when it was all said and done, European Americans lost about 10 to 12% of their net population. So he said it didn't happen.
Yeah, they didn't want to tell you that most of them was down. More of them was down than us.
Yeah. And most of
our people weren't down from COVID though. They was down from other stuff. And then they was blaming it on COVID so the hospitals could get the money.
Yeah, I know a few people had them ventilators literally forced on them.
Yeah, a lot of them had pre-existing conditions. And they were down from that. And then they just put it down as COVID.
Shoot, if you fighting a ventilator, a tube in your throat that's helping you breathe, and you fighting it, there it go. That's the equivalent of somebody telling you,
No, go ahead.
That's the equivalent of somebody telling you you can breathe underwater. And yeah, you could breathe underwater, but you got to relax instead of fight it. So I'm not saying you can really do that, but I'm saying if there was a way, it's the same way of them putting a vent in a person who supposedly has CV-19. If they want to inhale.
Go back in, hold on.
All right.
Brother, sorry about that. You got knocked out by accident. I was trying to bring myself back on the stage and it knocked you off. But you want to continue where you was at?
I forgot. Go ahead.
We're talking about the COVID-19 and taking people and putting them in a whole different atmosphere. Like no sunshine in the life you know, and you can't breathe. You can't breathe through the mask thoroughly. So it's cutting off your oxygen, cutting off the melanin, which will heal us, you know. Yeah.
Which is our vitamin, which is our source, which is the sun. And they now, what they do is they indoctrinate and teach us under the craft, you know, the law, land, air, and water, that if we believe in what they have to say, we no longer have order and control over ourselves, which is under the, you know, the preamble of the Constitution, that all men are created equal. However, the Eurocentrics have sat back and alluded that they have more control than the original abolitionists and the original man, which would be the indigenous. It's us. And I say that to go forward towards the craft. It's called the craft. Where if they can trick us into the language, that we can believe in what they're accepting. And this is where we've been lost for so long. And this is where, you know, they continue to oppress us, if I may say.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, brother. Sorry, go ahead.
With that, I wanted to weigh in with the original thread that I received.
Oh, yeah.
About having guns. See, what's called the administration of the federal administration is now having to bring action against the states because they've given each state sovereign powers. However, the argument was that when they met the sovereign treaty, they've debunked and given back. And there was laws in this land before they imposed their constitution. And the problem with that is that this is where the Brady law, the Brady list has come into effect, where the
tell them what the Brady Bill is. A lot of people might not know. That was the politician that got shot, and so they made the bill that you got to pass a background check to get a gun.
Well, the Brady list is, if I may share, well, that's the Brady Bill. Oh. Now they have what's called nationwide, which is a Brady list.
Oh.
What is the Brady list consists of is that the lawful authority within the safety peace officers, which is the unlawful authority that has order, that has eluded that they have always had order. Because when we look, you know, police coming in and taking over and sitting back, addressing issues, that's a process you want to utilize, thanks to that governing order of the Constitution. So due process is that you cannot have the safety peace officers cause a violent situation. And that is a violation of due process, as well as, you know, it would still be on the 14th, you know, life, liberty, and pursuit to happiness. You know, so for a peace officer to sit back and arrest you and then bound you over to the lawful authority, which would be the sheriff. See, the sheriffs have not been doing their due diligence, their scope of representation, or their oath to office. They have gotten lazy. And when you're bound over to a civil matter, which is civil court, and a criminal matter, why is it that you have a municipal sitting back holding you, violating your due process, and then bounding you over to the lawful authority? And then the only reason we're doing it is because we're signing off and agreeing to it. And that's under our signature, you know, as well as, and this is where I found out recently, the right to bear arms. This is an open carry state. And what has happened is that they will sit back and come and have the peace officers come and violate you, which is a Klan move, you know, a mob, because their lawful authority is not in existence, and they should never have been the ones to apprehend. They should only admonish citations.
But they deputizing
However,
them. They deputizing them. Like I'm looking at now, it says the U.S. Custom and Border Patrol officers have been deputized.
Okay. Now,
over 550 arrests. Wow.
Now, mind you what you're saying. You're utilizing a different lawful authority.
Yeah.
We're not talking the safety city police, the municipal.
Right.
Those are two different entities.
Yeah.
Now, the civil would be the sheriff. So if the sheriff does not be the one to obtain and sit back and bring charges for it, then you have a right to bring forth a question of the detainer or the actual arrest. And that would be, in my state, where I'm at in Wisconsin, this would be State versus Lee. And that will be a timely preliminary. And if I was never authorized a timely preliminary because the wrong lawful authority apprehended me, then I realized that they bound me over, and we do not have a bail bonds here in this state. So therefore, why did you put your hands on me? Why did you violate my peace, my tranquility, my amendment, my constitutional right to, life, liberty, and the pursuit to happiness? You have traumatized and ruined everything. You got my community looking at me different. And however, if I did not realize that, I would be stuck still in this system that is, unjust. However, it's a bias because they say all men are created equal. I'm afforded a fair trial. I was never given that fair trial.
Mm-hmm.
And this is where, this is how they tend to have for so long fooled us. Like I said, when it comes to the crap nothing more than, instead of pulling a rabbit out your hat, they sit back and say, if I can talk you into it and you accept it, then I beat you. And it's not my fault because you did not research it, and that's under the studies with the counsel privy, Robert Ware. It taught me, we assisted in studying that you utilize these clerks of the court, which is their profession and their specialty. You use them as a tool, and you get your specifications out of that tool. And this is where they've gotten to the point where they are co-counsel for the profit. And that's where just recently I was looking on YouTube where a federal judge, sitting administrative judge, was detained, and he didn't say anything. And what they did was they took and they violated his right and did not even give him an opportunity to speak, but they sat back and oppressed him and, violated him and saying that, what are you doing in a leisure suit, and what are you doing driving this nice car, et cetera, until someone else in the precinct, which was, she was a captain in the precinct, and she realized, she walked past and looked at him again, did a second take, and then realized, she said, wait a minute, what is your name? And he gave his name, and that's when she sat back and went and looked him up, and everybody else was in awe. But here, this is when this judge spoke out and said, this has been going on for generations, and this needs to stop. It's just ridiculous how they're so accustomed to just violating,
True that. Yeah. And so, like when they're having the DC takeover, they're arming the National Guard, and they got all these different agencies coming in, and I hear they're not even down in the hood. So that just tells me they want it to self-destruct. They want the hood to self-destruct.
Yeah.
And then having shoot. I mean, if you're going to get a protest is to get something accomplished, not to go out here and put my people on Front Street,
That's right.
But basically, that's what it is. It's like putting on Front Street, Like, I ain't trying to be on Front Street unless, of course, I put myself on Front Street,
However, this whole nation is being led by a man that's right there on Front Street, being Donald Trump. Yeah. Donald Trump has 34 felony counts felony counts.
Yeah.
And he's still utilizing the same Constitution because he too is a private citizen. Everyone that has that birth certificate and that social security card is awarded to each state. However, we need to understand our jurisdiction, meaning our reservation. If you're not born of that state, then you can't hold me accountable because the only criminal charge is capital murder or murder. However, all of these alleged citations and charges is only under your signature. If you agree, that is a plea bargain, which is where we need to understand and learn that don't go in there and aboard that ship and sit back and agree to anything they have to say. You always innocent. And it's for the state to prove their case because the state was never the victim. So how did they bring charges against you?
Yeah. Brother Jelani had to jump off, Brother Joe, so feel free to chime in whenever, y'all chime on in. Let me see. Okay. I don't know what happened to Shabaka. He be falling asleep around this time of day. Day for him.
I ain't got much to say, man, but
yeah,
know them laws before you be led out to slaughter. You heard me? And
yeah.
I was speaking on that COVID situation before COVID hit. Bill Gates had said he can lower the population worldwide by 10% through vaccine. Then COVID hit, and after the COVID statistics alone in America, European Americans lost 10% of their population through disease. We lost about 2 to 5% of our population, but most of those were because those ventilators were forced on. So that's all.
Yeah, I know a lot of people died behind that jab. Matter of fact, a Panther brother of mine died, and he took he had to take the jab because his mother lived in a senior citizen facility. And in order for him to be in there with her, like her caretaker, he had to take the jab, and boom, he was gone. He was out of there quick. He was out of there very fast.
Everybody who forced their workers to take the jab or forced their workers termination because they wouldn't take the jab has suffered some sort of lawsuit, including U.S. military.
Now they told us that one thing they could get out of it though, claim religious beliefs. I was ready for him too. I was like, man, it's against my religion to take your stuff. Ain't doing that. Gotta be kidding. But I tell you what, they got us out that building. They got us out that building. I'm telling you now. But see, that's the tricky part because they get you out the building, they get you somewhere where you can't see the sun no more. Every time you see the sun, it's nighttime. You see the moonlight. Yep. Sorry, I mean, cut you off, Brother Carlos. What are you saying?
No, I concur. I'm in absolute agreement.
I didn't know they had a Brady list. Brother Joe, you probably knew that, though, didn't you? About that Brady list? I know about the Brady bill. I didn't know about the Brady list. Man.
If you
okay,
you look into this each state, like now the federal government is trying to, which is a sub-government, which when the states are involved. Because you remember when Donald Trump was being charged, he was not able to move to the federal unless the state was finished handling their situation. So this is where the federal has kind of messed up, and it's an oxymoron, should I say? Because they're saying that the state does have more control and power than the federal government. However, they really don't because it's financed by the federal government. So that's a confused situation. And with Donald Trump, he was utilizing the fact that he would go to the Supreme Court and expunge all of the constitutional federal laws that would sit back and hinder him, as far as when he was charged with the Jean Carroll situation and, the rape. However, he was never registered as a sex offender. However, he was charged with that situation. What he did do, he withdrew the what is it called? The when you're married and you sit back and violate your matrimony in marriage, that is called. What he did was he pulled that out of New York because that would be the one thing he would be able to be charged with. You know, and so he pulled that through this U.S. Supreme Court, and he's constantly utilizing, you know, his right under the Constitution to contest. And this is where the masses are falling and not paying attention to what he's really utilizing and doing with this entire matter.
And now he's trying to take over the whole thing because he say you only need like 2/3 of Congress to vote that he could actually go run for a third term, for one. And he's showing his power by going over top of the mayors and the governors and everybody and talking about even having them removed and replaced. And he talking about like Muriel Bowser. He talking about Muriel Bowser and what's his name in California? The guy, what's his name? Is it Gavin Newsom? That he was going after in California and stuff, you know. Because he's like, he's like, you know, you don't take over L.A., you know? He said,
what Donald Trump also established was when in his term that he would remove the Constitution. That means that he's removing the law, which he's showing that he's still able to do. The reason he's able to do that is because if the Utrecht has met sovereign treaty and given back the sovereign land existed before this. Every time you go to a court, would you notice that before you're asked about civil, it's asked, are you tribunal? Means that this was your sovereign right to a tribunal administration versus a civil, you know, constitutional administration. Where you that by agreement.
You're starting to cut out. You're starting to go matrix. It's getting a little choppy.
You already know how Big Brother gonna do.
Okay, but while you see, I always got a game plan for them. Though when they do that to me, I just go something else like this. Play this real quick.
They say of those, 3 are known gang members.
Oh, wait a minute. Let me start that from the top.
Elements this morning on the federal takeover in D.C. Customs and Border Patrol agents are now teaming up with U.S. Park Police to protect national park sites. The Department of Interior Secretary says these officers are being deputized, which basically means they can make arrests. Now, this comes as we have new numbers from the White House on this operation. Since August 7th, officers have made more than 550 arrests. They say of those, 3 are known gang members, including one who is allegedly a member of MS-13. They've also recovered 76 guns and cleared 48 homeless encampments. Right now, the National Guard, MPD, and ICE agents are patrolling the D.C. neighborhoods and all reporting different statistics on how many people have been arrested. 7 News' Carl Willis is breaking down the numbers for us this morning and has a look at some of the pushback on the streets.
The vice president personally thanking federal law enforcement for stepping in to help crack down on crime in the city. D.C. is already safer than it was 9 days ago. We're going to make it safer still. According to D.C. police, 527 arrests have been made since August 7th. Early Wednesday, the White House reporting a higher number, saying 551 total arrests have been made in the district in that same time.
Can't tell you exactly what they report or how they report or
Mayor Muriel Bowser.
But the feds say any arrest made during the federal enforcement falls under the operation's arrest totals, regardless of which agency makes the arrest.
What people have to understand is that with an additional 500 more officers, you're going to have more arrests.
Chief Pam Smith.
Traffic stops and those types of things. So we have to anticipate that because we have an influx of police presence.
A White House official said of the 551, 225 were related to immigration enforcement. They say 3 of those arrested are alleged gang members. As the operation continues, federal officers, including ICE agents, are being met with some vocal opposition in D.C. streets.
And like you
see
said,
how they're sitting back saying,
and that's the white folks down there protesting, not us.
Right. Right, and then they sat back and said they hiring gang members.
Right, hiring protesters. No, they hiring protesters. They talking about hiring protesters. You know,
right, and that's what Donald Trump is eluding. He's trying to evade from what he has already created.
Yeah,
and this is what we call it: the tell your vision, fool your vision. You know, the television and these news. They are all in cahoots together. You know what I mean? So we have to be careful. And that's what we keep calling the craft. That's what they do. They cast a spell and try to get you to believe in what they're talking about. When it's, it's an oxymoron. It's a lie.
Yeah.
It's an illusion.
Yeah. And like Brother Joe said, we got to be careful how we protest it too. You know, you can't go down to the, for one, the White House itself, you can't even go up to the White House fence no more. They got it blocked off like a whole block away, where it used to be a park in between, but there still is a park in between the White House gate. There's a whole gate around that park now. And there's a lot of homeless folks used to be in that park too. And they ain't there no more, tell you that. Mm-hmm.
Which is a violation of due process, because what they've done is they're no longer caring about the citizens that have elected them to be in office, and that's a concern.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, Project 2025, they got him being the president for life, at least for his life. Well, hell, if he can do a third term, so can Obama.
That's it. That's it.
I mean, I would say, other than, I can't say nothing really. He didn't do nothing. He should have done something for black folks. He should have stayed out of that damn homosexual BS, So
Obama did back the blue for the police, which led to them arming up with their military weapons and vehicles as of right now.
Okay. They definitely militarized. That's for sure.
Absolute.
Mm-hmm. Oh, but then them internment camps that I was speaking of earlier, shoot, they just started renovating them joints. From what I heard, I don't know, because ain't nobody really gonna see them, because they got them like behind military bases and stuff like that. They even got some spots in the woods where you can't even walk through. There was a story. The guy say. And just a story, but he said he went into the forest and he saw signs saying "Do not enter" and stuff like that. He said soldiers ran up on him with rifles and they took him into an internment camp, and they told him, "So you can't even mention this. You're lucky to be alive. We can keep you in here indefinitely with no phone calls." No phone calls or nothing. I think the reason they let him go because he's a white dude and he happened to be law enforcement. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, he happened to be. If it was me, they would, man. They'd be like, "Nah, you ain't going nowhere." As a matter of fact, I tested the waters at the U.S. Custom and Border Patrol. Yeah, U.S. Custom and Border Patrol. I said, let me go over there and just sit on the wall and eat a sandwich. Yeah, I sat on that wall. I eat my sandwich. I had 2 or 3 bites before they come outside. Come on, how you doing? I said, I'm fine. How you doing? Say, oh, good. So what brings you here today? I say, oh, this just looks like a good place to sit and have lunch. So basically, I blew him off. But I was trying to test the waters. I want to see just how long it take them to come up out of there. They got a little side street that I could be riding on, like it take you off the highway. And I see a lot of bikes going down that way, but they are of the other persuasion. So I guess they could eat lunch on the wall without even so much as a whimper. Probably just enjoy your lunch, sir. That type. Man, they gotta be kidding. Hey, you got to bring Brother Webb on with you next time, Carlos. Glad to hear
you. Brother Webb shared with me the site. He wasn't on. I thought he was in.
No, he ain't come in. He might have been. Maybe he was talking about another one because I know there's so many going on. You know.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
No, he was sharing with me, you brother Black Light.
Oh, okay. Because I did send it to him. I send it to him all the time. But I'm gonna send it to both of y'all from now on. Yeah.
Yeah.
He might not have had a chance unless somebody's chiming in. Oh, wait a minute, hold on. Hey, brother Joe, you knocked off. You back on? Yep. I'll start doing some closing statements though, because this was a good one. This went by so fast. It's like, man, this 2 hours went boom, just like that. 7 minutes left. I usually like to shave it right down to the 2 hour mark. You know, like if I ever edit, it's only because it went over 2 hours. Like if it's 2 hours and 11 minutes, I will back that joint off 11 minutes. I'll be like, man, I might have missed something good in them 11 minutes. But sometimes I take it off the top because on the top, I'll be having my own music playing. I say, I can pass on the music. They know what I sound like. You know what I mean? Sacrifice. Yeah, sacrifice. You know, I say, shoot, I can put me up there anytime. But right.
If I may ask, Brother Lightning, do anyone else utilize the Black Laws Dictionary?
Black Laws Dictionary. I ain't heard that in a while. Damn. Yeah.
Well, the reason I say that is because that's the language that we're eluded and we keep being misled by. Because when you utilize the wording in the Black Laws Dictionary, you understand that what we've been taught from children, from birth, from the age of 1, we've been indoctrinated and taught to believe that the wording is totally different, and that's why they view us as wards. Because they say when you go as far as when you want to get an attorney, which is a clerk of the court, an officer of the court, and that means to attorn over your body in the Black Laws Dictionary. And I bring that to share that the word understanding you have to be very careful of, because that's when you're boarding that ship and under their control. It's an understanding, because what happens is when something is shared, it enters your frontal lobe. And it's not it's an understanding. And that's the language that they continue to utilize here in the country and the nation. This is why they're no longer respected by the United Nations, because they say you
Oh, let me put it back on. Okay, I dropped off by accident, but I'm back in. We back in. Could you hear any of that, Joe? I mean, damn, I don't know if I was muted or not. But I know I dropped off for a minute. I came back in though. But repeat that last part, brother Carlos, because we might have been off the air when you said it.
Well, I was sharing the
Black Laws.
Black Laws Dictionary. Black Laws Dictionary, and study that I have
you might want to move around a little bit or be in one spot because you're coming through scrambled again.
Got you. And the Black Law area is a study of utilized court. And they even stop and turn to it and have to reference it because their language is of that Black Laws Dictionary. So that's just a mere suggestion to the audience.
Oh no, that's good. Good info, good intel, great intel. You know about that? I'm sure Brother Joe, he might know about that Black Law. I heard it from lawyers. I mean, long time ago. Black Laws Dictionary. Yep, sure enough. Yeah.
Yeah, back when I was MOI, it was one of my biggest references.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Right on. Yeah. So that is good info. I just heard of it. Matter of fact, not heard of it. I've actually seen it. I've seen them on shelves in the lawyer's office.
Well, I personally, we do pro se. So we do pro se, and therefore, we utilize those very officers of the court because that's who they're getting paid by. We use them as part, we use the Black Laws Dictionary to sit back and break down the definition of what they're trying to say to us and their wording.
Yeah. Right. I heard that. So, so since you do pro se and stuff, you would know. As far as protesting, I don't think. Well, I don't know. I'd be very careful protesting around courthouses. Isn't that right?
Well, no, because you don't have to. You have the right to lobby. You have the right to lobby and sit back and protest.
Okay.
And that's the public. As long as you're not inside that, or you can even go inside and you're still in the public. As long as you do not cross over and go past that door, that little swinging door,
I tell you what,
then you're a part of the ship.
Well, I was mentioning earlier when you went on that's how Commander Black got jumped by them, jammed up by them. We weren't even on the side where the courthouse is. We were on the other side of the street. They had like a whole driveway in between. The people was on the other side protesting the fact that they had a Confederate statue in the front of the courthouse at Gastonia. Is that North Carolina or South Carolina?
Right.
But yeah, they got had a Confederate statue down there, and the people were protesting that. We were there for injustice to a black lady who had on a Black Lives Matter t-shirt, and they treated her like crap and locked her up and bullied her around, and I guess they didn't think the Panthers were going to show up because of that. Yeah, that's the type thing we show up on. Hell yeah.
Absolutely.
But as far as this other stuff, man, I ain't doing nothing that's going to get my people jammed up. Nope. That's why I say, but you doing the lobbying, you probably know more about the courthouse thing, because I know you can protest in front of the police headquarters. I do know that.
Absolutely. You have the right to protest anywhere. That's your freedom. That's considered under the freedom of speech.
Now you
have a right to do that.
Now you seen that some of the people that was protesting the DC takeover, and I got to get out here 1 minute. They were protesting the DC takeover, and they targeted this one protester. They just ran right past everybody just to grab him and tackle him to the ground. I was like, that's the same thing they did to us. Because, there was a lot of protesters out there, and that's an open carry state. Everybody had guns. Everybody down there was strapped, and they ran right past all them people to get to two Panthers. Rest in power, Commander Black. Yeah. He trained me up,
Yes. That's when you bring forth your federal statute, the right to carry, the right to bear arms, and hit them with the Second Amendment, the right to bear arms, and that's how you got to stay abreast. You know what I mean?
Well, one thing I learned about from watching NFAC when Grandmaster Jay was rocking. He's like, you can't have. Actually, it's a little bit of both. It's like we were out there, so I kind of had to find out. You can't protest and have a Second Amendment march at the same time. Yeah, I mean, you can say, like, if the protesters got signs and we have a Second Amendment, just to protect them, but we can't be protesting while we got rifles. You either got to march or protest, but you can't protest with rifles, with guns.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I found that out from them. I mean, I don't know if it was from them or from the cops. I think it might have been from the cops, because this one cop was telling me, like the gun laws in DC, for one, unless you got a security clearance or something like that, you got a security agency, you ain't carrying no gun around in DC. You can have it if it's registered and it's in your house, okay, but you ain't gonna be able to have it outside. And that's what the cop was telling me. He say that's got to be either what you call it? What I just said. You got to be either security or a hunter with a shotgun, and then the daggone ammo got to be separated too. you know, from the weapon.
Right.
Yeah, ammo separated from the weapon, you know.
Right. And that's where you got to understand the state-to-state statutes and the policies and procedures of that state, the right to carry. And that's how that happens.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, it's getting ready to get interesting because Trump say they're going to Chicago. They're gonna take this. They're gonna take this. I want to call them like that. They like a rock band. They're gonna take it on the road. They're going on a road tour. They're gonna hit Chicago, and they're gonna hit L.A. You know, they might come to a concert hall near you. You never know. Yeah. I tell you what, being a Trump country won't be affected. They'll be like, oh, well, there's no reason to send Border Patrol up there. So they probably have one killing a year. You know?
That's right.
Yeah. Matter of fact, shoot, I hit a street today where there was a recent shooting. And I went down that street earlier. And I ran into a slingshot crew, all black. They was riding them three-wheelers, slingshots. And I was like, man, I said, I got to go over here and stop with my people, you know? Yeah. So I was hollering them. We was taking pictures and stuff, a little video, you know? Yeah, they had Can-Ams. You know, the slingshot, that's got the wheel in the back, two wheels in the front.
Right.
Uh-huh. And they like convertible. Look like the Batmobile. I'm telling you now, I always wanted one of them joints. But if you got a slingshot, you better have a garage to put it in. Mm-hmm. I'm like, man, I got no garage. Slingshot to be out there in the wet and stuff, you know.
Yeah.
If I could bring it in my house, I would. I get them like where you got the patio doors. Get some French doors and ride that joint right up in the house. I'm just kidding on that part. Yeah, but I did look at the Can-Am and I kind of sized it up. I was like, shoot, I could make that. I could ride that up into the house, you know, off of the deck. I mean, not the deck. What do you call it? You know, patio. Yeah. Well, it's not a patio for real, but it's just kind of like a patio, you know. It's just some doors that go outside. Yeah. Well, this has been a good one for show, you know, and you didn't have a chance to put all my videos on. But, Carlos is going to try to do next Thursday, too. Every Thursday, 7 p.m. And for the people out there, of course, we need some finances. We got to get the finances so we can help our people out, you know. I mean, help them by getting to them. That's the number one, getting to them, you know? So sometimes we spread pizza and sometimes we spread love. You know, I like to spread the love along with the pizzas. But, you know, at least get down there and tell them, look, don't go, you know, be on this side of the street. But hell, that, like I said, that didn't work when, but they was heading towards the people and they had a megaphone and they was talking real light. You know, like, man, come on. I deal with bullhorns all the time. I know damn well you could be louder than that. And they was talking so light, you couldn't even hear them. They had to go like damn near, like go across the street where the courthouse is to hear what they were saying. And then Commander Black said, oh, they telling the people they got 5 minutes to disperse, you know? He said, let's roll out. He said, let's roll out, you know? That's why, when they're part of a vanguard militia, supposed to take orders, you know, and just like the white man's army, you know, when they say go left, everybody goes left. Don't nobody go right or stand still, you know. But anyway, I'm gonna get off of that. But that just like, you know, that was my mentor. Yeah. Yeah, I call him up and say, "Hey, what do you think I should?" I was like, "Man, I'm out here. I'm out here doing it, you know." So basically, I'm patrolling my neighborhood, helping the what do you call it? Not homeless, displaced, helping the displaced, giving out food when we can, you know. But I'm like, here they are. They see who I am. They know who I am, you know. And still gonna pull up on me. I said, that's a joke. So now you're going to have me all in y'all rearview mirror aiming cameras at you. You know, every time you stop a black person, I'm gonna be behind you. Actually, I do that anyway. Maybe that's why. You know, they can mess with each other all they want. But if I see them mess with a brother or sister, I'm getting on it. Like I asked the one brother, I say, I pull up and I see cop behind him, blocking him in from getting out of the parking spot in the parking lot where they had the grocery store. And I said, what's going on? He said, man, I'm out here waiting on my wife to get off from work. She works in the grocery store, and this cop just comes up behind me. You know? And I asked the cop, I said, what's going on here? He said, well, the gentleman asked me for help. I said, you're a damn lie. He just told me what happened. You pulled up on him. He asked you for nothing. He waiting on his wife to get off from work. I said, and I'm filming you. You know? He talking about, what do you know about the law? I said, the Freedom of Information Act to get your body cam footage when you just lied and told me that he told you, he asked for you. I said, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to use the Freedom of Information Act papers to get your body cam footage. Yeah, but you work with that stuff, don't you, Carlos? You still there? Whoa, what happened to Carlos? Can you hear me, Carlos? You might be muted. Oh, any closing statement, Brother Joe? Because I'm getting ready to get out of here. I think Carlos' phone went off. Or he might be muted.
You know me, State.
Oh, all right, brother.
Okay, well, hold on one second. Yeah, one second. Yes, sir. Joe, what you saying, brother?
Stay strapped, get clapped, and know your local laws so you don't violate them.
Yeah. Ask questions of the people that's leading the way too. You know, what are the pitfalls that we might run into? You know, yeah. And do you have bond money? Do you have lawyers on retainer? What's up? You know, what are y'all doing? I said, what does it look like we're doing? We're giving out sandwiches. We're giving out fruit. We're giving out waters. I said, what do you think? We're standing in front of the damn liquor store dealing drugs? And that's where my comrade grabbed me. I'm glad he did, though. He said, remember, General Order Number 7. Don't say nothing to these people unless it's in the line of duty. Any closing statement on that? On everything, Carlos? You might be muted again.
Yes, sir.
Oh yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Go right ahead. And I'm gonna get out of here after I read what in the chat.
All right. Well, I give accolades and gratitude for this, the studies and the program and the Comcast.
Right on. And Brother Joe saying in these comments, what it say? Registration is mandatory. All firearms owned in D.C. must be registered in the Metropolitan Police Department. Yeah, but you can't take it out your house. That's the problem. And no reciprocity. D.C. Does not honor concealed carry permits from other states. Or jurisdictions. Okay. Sure, they don't want no guns in D.C. I can tell you that now. Yep.
They can't because it's a district. It's not considered a state. Right. So they don't fall under, the jurisdiction as what they keep alleging. Yeah. If we learn to understand, like we said, in that Black Laws Dictionary, the definition of jurisdiction, and that's the order over and of. But you cannot have order of or over a state if it's considered a district. That's where, like I say, the craft is being utilized. The language it's confusion. It's a trick. It's all part for the course, They can convince us to listen to their garbage, then we're gonna forever be stuck, We gotta come up out of the hypnosis.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. Okay, well, happy birthday if you're listening. Got a few birthdays out there, some revolutionaries out there. Brother Carlos cut off, but that's all right. It's a little past 11, so I'll holler at y'all next week. and hit you up later, Joe. Thanks for coming on, brother. Appreciate you. And somebody wake up Shabaka and tell him the show is over. Ha! All right, y'all. Take care. Black Powerful. I'm out. And hit the Cash App. We need the funds. Got to get places. And it ain't free. We're not the paid protesters, and plus we're not going to protest anyway. Some of these places we are, but some of these places we're going to build and unite with other brothers in the struggle, brothers and sisters in the struggle, and try to keep it up, bring integrity to keep the integrity, not bring integrity, keep the integrity, it goes all the way back to Chairman Fred and Bobby Seale, Eldridge Cleaver, Yep, don't want to leave Brother Huey out. Yep, my mentor. Yeah, matter of fact, Memoirs of a Black Panther. Before I go, that's what I told Commander Black. I said, man, they made you the national MOD. I said, they made me the national MOD too. He said, well, shoot, you my student. You my student. If I'm the MOD, you supposed to be the MOD too. So anyway, I'm out with that one now. All right, brother. Black Powerful. Appreciate you.
What's happening, y'all? What's up, DC? I used to call you Chocolate City, but now it's Federal City, y'all. What's up? Black Powerful. The revolution will not be televised. Talked about or prophesied. Like power. Real easy for me to get lost in the game, especially now that they're doing that alien nest type script. You dig? DC. Federal City, welcome to the smell with a fed sail. Mother. Fire! Burn! Trump drawing lines. Power. Hope he's getting federalized. So scared, cap, popping lies. They got the National Guard on combat formations, helping the homeless relocations, evacuations, evictions. Martial law in a police state. Tell the tourists things ain't nice. If they ain't white, they might get stopped by ICE. Black Powerful, yeah. We got the curfew for the kids at night. Catching feds ain't right. While the rich get rich and the poor get poor off this big new deal. While they get fat and getting they fill, most kill for a real meal. So the blue gang is loose. Yeah. Man. Say what? Loose. Those clips sink most ships like a hurricane. DC, Federal City, welcome to the smells of the fed sales, mother. They taking the pictures for the facial recognition, y'all. I stay masked up, don't take no jab at all. 5K for the nanobots, making zombies of us all. Not us, we ain't having it. That making America great again ain't skip. They making America hate again, and that's it. While the dark ops running down on the streets. So you know what it is, man. DC, Federal City, welcome to the smell of the fed cell, mother. Fire! Lightning, yeah. To open up your eyes, my dear. Say what? Remix! Keep it going.
behind the rails, he laying on bed and nails.
The real revolution will not be televised. Talk about a problem.
Oh, yeah.